Hey everybody, how's it going out there? This is Doc with ReadySetCrypto. Today is Wednesday, the 31st of May, last day of the month. And welcome aboard. Like to see where everybody is coming in from. All right, so as we do that, and go ahead and hit the thumbs up if you can, please. I'm going to park myself down in the corner and start looking at charts. How is it going out there? All right. So it's going to take us a couple minutes to get everybody on board. And while that happens, I'm going to just kind of walk you guys through what I'm seeing on BTC right now. Bitcoin, lower highs, lower lows, setting up with a daily downtrend. It's very gentle though. All right, Jack from Darwin, thanks for checking in. What we're also seeing is the price is finding resistance at these anchored VWAPs, which are important. So I still think the next one is going to come down around 25,000 or so. So let me get this, let me get my magic pen over here set up for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. And so that's going to be about the 25,000 level. I think that's going to be ultimately where we want to be testing this thing at some point this summer. I don't know how long it's going to take to get down to there. And that's also in confluence with a VWAP, which is currently down at 25,000. That is the anchor to the beginning of the year. So watch that one carefully for what's going on. Hey, Tony from Italy, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for checking in today. Again, my name is Doc, and we're with ReadySetCrypto. We do this typically on Wednesday afternoons. Here we go over the state of the markets, and my favorite part about this is going through the requests for what you guys want to see. It's not about what I think. I'm more interested in what you guys are seeing out there and what you want to see on the coins that you're trading. Okay, so we're getting a good uptrend. We've just about doubled on BTC from the beginning of the year up until about the high water mark, which at this point is mid-April, so about 6 weeks ago. But what I'm also seeing here is that this is just a weekly pullback. Ultimately, we want to see a monthly higher low. This takes a while to generate. It's going to take a while to generate that higher low on the monthly chart, right? And so what you also have to do is you have to build up enough negativity to convince people that the uptrend is over. So this may require the price to come down into this area during this amount of time. So this could be later on in the summer before we get this thing set up. Now, if this takes off from here, we can't argue with that. You know, I can't say, wait a minute, it's not supposed to do that. So if the price takes off from here, great. Ultimately, though, at some point, we are going to have a monthly higher low. So all of these rallies have had a higher low on the monthly chart sooner or later. Right? That happens. That builds up the negativity. People throw in the towel. That's when it takes off. That's what we're looking for. Hey, Jason, welcome aboard. Good to see you. All right, everybody. Let me know where you guys are coming in from. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button to let everybody else know that we're starting here. I'm going to go down through some of the top assets here that we typically look at all the time. Ethereum is not going to go anywhere. Really, this has been sort of a top 5 rally. Ripple's been moving lately because of the lawsuit. Looks like the lawsuit may get resolved. We'll see. What I'm seeing on this one, though, this is a great big cup with handle pattern. But this rounded base is set up with a neckline at 55. This is going to have to break out above 55 cents on big time volume. Not this kind of volume, not this kind of volume, but volume like that we had here. This kind of volume, right? Big time volume where the shorts get blown over and all kinds of new bulls jump on board. That is what is going to be necessary to sustain a breakout above 55. Otherwise, this is just going to remain a much better shorting point for all the bears that can, what you have to do is you have to continually convince the bears that they are wrong. And the only way that they can close their positions is by buying it back, which further adds demand. So you got to have massively strong volume over there above 55 if it's going to break out above that point. All right, Willie coming in from the Netherlands. Team Orange has checked in today here at ReadySetCrypto. All right, so that's what I'm seeing on XRP for right now. Nice bounce off the bottom today. So XRP has stayed fairly strong today. The rest of these, a lot of these, even Cardano looks terrible. We have Dogecoin trading below the 200-day moving average. Solana has been, has gotten the black armband, got taken down with FTX. Polygon is trading well below the 200-day moving average. So all of these really, as soon as we get down to like Dogecoin, this has been like a top 5 rally. This is about it. But this is what's necessary. This is always what's happened is Bitcoin and Ethereum have got to do all the blocking and tackling and basically set the stage for the rest of the altcoins to carry forward because, again, they're not viewed as strong of a commodity or some other type of asset, right? Or a security. I guess the other type is security. Okay, guys, what requests do you have? What would you guys like to see out there? What coin pairs do you want to see? And I will take your request at this point. So, odd day today in the financial markets. We have a little bit of uncertainty out there just due to the debt ceiling in the United States. So, kind of like a little bit walking on eggshells lately. Okay, great. Tony, I'm going to check out Render for you, Render coin. Okay, so we're going to look at crypto Render versus UST. And this one actually looks pretty good. I don't know where this one is on the coin market cap in terms of the top 100. Probably not in the top 30 because typically I check the top 30 every week and this is not on there. But this is a nice looking chart and it's doing a good job. It's getting well above the 200-day moving average. And if we zoom out on this one so this is Render token. If we zoom out on this one, you can see that it has had a checkered history. It's basically started trading at the very top of the bull market and has been nothing but down into the beginning of this year. But it's done a very nice job of setting up a weekly uptrend, higher lows, higher highs so far. Now let's check the energy on this. Energy on the weekly chart still has room to run for this one, still has room to run. Daily chart looks actually really good. So this is a good looking asset. I like how this thing is moving. It's doing a nice job of being very repetitive, breaks out, pulls back, pulls down into the cluster of VWAPs here. This is all good. All right, so that's my opinion on this, Tony. This looks pretty good. It's got a weekly uptrend. This is everything that we're looking for from this nice rounded base. So you can see this nice rounded base here, and you've got the breakout above there on good volume too. Good volume. So Render token looks pretty good. All right, so next one. Hey, Noza, how you doing? N52 on coin, number 52 on CoinGecko. Okay, got it. Yeah, so I'm just tracking the top 30 because, I mean, quite honestly, we get below, coin number 5 and things just start to fall apart. Willicky, I wonder when good old Chainlink will start to move again. Well, let us take a look. Chainlink is still occupying a spot in the top 30 in terms of market cap, but it is awful. So here's my thought on this. I do not know when it's going to start moving, but what we can do is we can set up parameters around which you can take your eye off of this one and just ignore it until it hits a certain level. So that's the way I like to look at things because, again, I don't know what the future is going to be, but what we can do is we can see that this one's got a fairly well-defined base, which is going to require a break above about $9.50 to $10 for this one to get anywhere. So during the meantime, you're going to see this thing go up, down, sideways, all over the place, just setting up a base. It's almost like Chainlink has gotten destroyed over the past 2 years, and what it's doing is it's basing out again. And we saw this during the 2018, 2019, 2020 bear. We saw a lot of bases eventually break higher from there and go on to all kinds of all-time new highs, right? And it all started with the base. It all started with the base. Let's go to the weekly chart. You can see this basing pattern on the weekly chart really, really well. So this was a rock star all the way up into the spring of 21, and then it decided to be a bum, right? So this has been nowheresville really since May of 22. So almost a full year in this base. I would not pay any attention to Chainlink until it breaks above $10. Don't pay any attention. Don't waste your time. Set up an alarm on TradingView. Just go over here, right click, and just say, set me an alert on Chainlink. And set your price to be a break above $10. Email yourself. Do nothing with this one until it breaks above 10. Okay? All right, who's got something else here? Who else wants to see some coin across the board? This is a test of patience. Definitely this market is a test of patience. And it's happening across all risk assets. It's not just the crypto market. It is also equities are just being squeezed out. This is the strangest transition that I've seen because we were full on bear in 22. And then all of a sudden, all the volatility just got sucked out of this market. So the past several months, it's been no range at all. And that's why I'm calling this a chop suey market. Okay, what else you guys got? What else do you guys have? Let's look at some of these other ones here. You know, everything is just brutal right now. Now, one of the better coins has been OKB. Again, this is an exchange token. Nice move, consolidation. Watch for this one to break above 52 to 53. But it stayed pretty strong during this whole time. It may yet come down to the 200-day moving average in green. So I don't know if anybody trades this one. Obviously, you have to trade it on OKB. NMR. Okay, let's see. Lewis, is Uniswap Ethernet likely to come back? Let's take a look. Let's see if I can find that one. Uniswap versus Ethereum. Okay. Youch. Okay, so anytime that you have a coin pair, and I'll just call this coin N, over the basis. And the basis in this case is Ethereum. Right? Anytime you have a basis which is going higher, you're going to have trouble with any kind of currency pair. What you want from a basis is you want as flat as you possibly can. And lately, for me, that's been the dollar. The dollar has been fairly stable for a long period of time. So I will trade anything I can versus a dollar basis for me. Because if this goes higher, then the whole fraction goes down. And this is what's happening with this one. So basically for Uniswap versus Ethereum, to gain in value, you're going to have to see Ethereum take a dump, or you're going to have to see Uniswap rally that much harder than Ethereum. Hey, it's Tuckafu checking in. Hey there. So Lewis, this is the challenge here. So if we look at just Uniswap by itself versus the dollar or Tether, it's relatively weak, but the problem is exacerbated by the fact that Ethereum has been relatively strong. It hasn't been that strong, but it's been relatively strong versus Uniswap. So, Michelle, are you saying a lot of people are waiting for 25,000? That's interesting. Not that I'm doubting you. That's a data point that I haven't heard. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about 25,000 yet. So, but your point is very valid. If you think that a lot of people are waiting for 25,000, then you'll never see it. So maybe, I think that's your point. And what Michelle's talking about here is Bitcoin. And I was talking about maybe us coming down to 25,000 because it's a very obvious technical place. Now, sometimes these moves can happen like in the blink of an eye, right? It can happen intraday. It can happen all of a sudden we just see something happen like this and boom, it's off like it touches the third rail, right? It's almost like, like you touch a hot stove or something like that. So it doesn't necessarily have to spend a whole lot of time down here. All you're looking for is an excess of demand versus supply. And you're looking for a lot of weak hands in terms of the shorts because, hey, price is making new lows. I'm going to go short right now. And then all of a sudden they have no room to maneuver if the price goes against them. Okay? All right, great point, though. Thanks for bringing that up. NMR. Let's look at NMR. Okay, NMR versus Tether. Let's look at this on Binance. This is not a pretty chart. Not a pretty chart. So, to me, the best way to filter on this one is just through a good old-fashioned trend line on this one. So I would just stay away from this one as long as it continues to make lower highs and lower lows. If it breaks that trend line, you can put an alert on the trend line as well too. You can add an alert on this trend line so that when it breaks the trend line, you're notified and now you can pay attention to it. But as long as something continues making lower highs and lower lows, don't pay any attention to it. Ignore it. Unless your goal is to acquire more and more and more at a lower cost basis over a great deal of time. The only time that you should catch the falling knife and keep adding to a losing position like that is if you have a great deal of time. Great deal of time. Okay, next one. What about Ocean Protocol? Ocean. Let's look at Ocean. Okay, kind of the same thing here. Kind of the same thing. This is a daily chart, so this is not necessarily a huge amount of data, but it's still in a pretty ugly downtrend. Still in a pretty ugly downtrend. Now, something that just caught my eye here is the volume. Some of the volume is starting to come up. So you've got almost a larger time frame. This is a fractal here. You've got almost a larger time frame and a smaller time frame. So we can give this one a different color, like yellow or something like that. So this is a smaller time frame flag pattern. If you start to see this break above this level here, this is where you want to pay attention to it. So 45 cents is where you want to pay attention because now it's starting to make higher highs. Okay, and you want to also see this on good volume as well too. You want to see that on good volume. Okay. Anybody have anything else? Any other coins that you guys want to take a look at? Any other coins that you guys want to take a look at? Okay, let's see. We have a request here for Pepe. Pepe. All right, let's see. Tuckafu coming in from California. All right. So let's take a look at Band. Band versus Tether. Okay. Not a pretty chart. Not a pretty chart. And kind of the same thing that I've been talking about here. Hopefully this is not a long-term bag for you. Hopefully this is not a long-term bag, but I would avoid this one until it starts breaking above some of these lines here, making higher highs and higher lows. It's below the 200-day moving average right now, which implies longer-term downtrend. This thing just can't get out of its own way. So coins like that, you don't want to continue to accumulate. You know, if you've already accumulated your share of this at much higher prices, I don't know what to tell you. You know, find a way. I'll tell you what, you know, there is, the highs in this were about 20. You can save yourself so much if you just write down one thing. If you start doing one thing from here on in, and it's super simple to do, it's called rule number 1 of risk management. Before you make your next entry, write down specifically where you will exit. Before you buy your next coin or anything like that, write down, okay, here's what I will do if it goes higher. Here's what I will do if it goes lower. Write down what your exits are. If you just take literally 30 seconds and do that for your next entry, you will save yourself a world of hurt. Because what we all do is we all buy in at charts like this that are going higher, and we don't anticipate that it's going to go lower. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's like, oh, well, shit. Well, it's bouncing. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. I swear it's going to come back. 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 And it never does, right? So either you have to have a lot of time on something like this. And I'm not picking on you in particular, Tuckafu. I'm just saying, you know, I'm seeing this across the board with people. So no worries on that. So this one's not looking pretty. I would not do anything until it breaks that yellow line. Okay, next one is Cardano. So Cardano doesn't look very good either. And I don't know how the hell this thing got to be, you know, top 5 of assets, because it just never seems to go anywhere. It was doing really well for a short period of time back in 2021. $3 per coin. But since that point, lower highs, lower lows, setting up a base. I would do nothing with this one until it gets above 60 cents. Till it gets above 60 cents. All right, let's do Pepe. We're overdue for a Pepe analysis. We talked about this one. This is funny because I talked about this in the newsletter on, I believe it was the 4th of May. It was back here on this date. Yeah, it was the 4th of May, this day here, when you could buy 1 million of these for $1. You could buy 1 million of these coins for $1. And unfortunately, the next day was the highs. And so you would have made about 400% on that. But just like everything else in a bear market, when you have coins with no intrinsic value, which is what Pepe is, doesn't have any intrinsic value. It's just like Dogecoin or Shiba. They have no intrinsic value. And it's all based on what somebody's willing to pay you, just like an NFT. So NFTs may get some value in ticketing coming up soon. So ticketing. But this thing is just getting eaten up. And people that bought in over here are finally just selling out and just saying, oops, I did it again. I did it again. Okay, last one for today, and then we're going to close up shop, is Ren. How's Ren looking? Wow, all of these are just brutal. Kind of a double high here. Here's the lower high that's set up in the fall of 21, and since that point, it's setting up a base. And it's a very long one, too. Okay, a lot of volume coming in. Not particularly liquid. Not a very liquid asset. And I can tell just by the way it just sort of jumps around here. But I would not want to get into this thing until it gets above about 18 cents or so. about 18 cents for REN. So, let's see. One thing I want to share with you guys. This is our new platform here at ReadySetCrypto, and I'm building a new course. It's called the One Bitcoin Club. So it's basically, it's a very formulaic way of being able to acquire through no real skill, just follow the recipe. And next thing you know, you're going to have one BTC to your name, which is going to be worth something at some point. So if you believe that one BTC is going to be worth something, then consider joining. We have a week for free too at readysetcrypto.ONE. So join us for a week for free and check it out, kick the tires, and let us know what we can do. Thanks, everybody. You guys have a great Wednesday. Look out for the debt ceiling to be signed tonight. Hopefully that'll happen, and then we'll see what happens from here. All right. You guys have a great evening. Thanks for joining me here today. Bye now.